There's one thing that separates college football from any other sport in America: unique traditions and rituals. And now we have a video game which does a remarkable job of capturing those particular nuances in each team's stadium intro. But why did they do that weird thing? When did these traditions start? And just what on earth is this?
What the hell is even that?
In this series, I'm going to explain every college football 25 intro, starting first with the ACC. And that's coming up right after this. Quick, what's the hardest thing about being in shape? Some will say getting in the gym, but almost everyone will say diet. That's where Factor comes in, with delicious, healthy, fresh, never frozen, chef-crafted, and dietitian-approved meals that are ready to eat in 2 minutes. With popular options like keto, protein plus, vegan or veggie, Factor makes meal prep and diets aligned to your goals easy. I am constantly looking for high protein, low calorie meals, and Factor has me covered. There are 35 plus meals to choose from every week with over 60 add-on options. And their juices and smoothies are delicious. I know my work in the gym isn't being ruined by a crap diet. This is one of the best deals out there. Compared to takeout, Factor is easily cheaper and outright better for you. And no delivery fees or tipping. So after this video, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code 5points50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month of orders. Again, that's factor75.com from the link below and use code 5points50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month of orders. Georgia Tech, Bobby Dodd Stadium. For Georgia Tech's entrance, you immediately see an old car with cheerleaders positioned on the side like they are about to take a beachhead in Normandy. The car is a 1930 Ford Model A Sport named the Ramblin' Wreck, and the tradition started way back in 1961. According to lore, a math professor named Floyd Field used to drive an old Model T around campus, and the students gave it its nickname. That thing must have been a bucket. Then in 1960, the dean of the school, Jim Dull, who fondly remembered the Ramblin' Wreck, found an old Model T to lead the team out of the tunnel. Also in this intro, you see Buzz, the Tech mascot, doing a Mike Gesicki imitation. Buzz has been the mascot since 1972. And in the background here, you see the Bank of America Plaza, a building in Atlanta, which is visible from the stadium. Pitt Panthers, Acrisure Stadium. This one is a pretty plain intro as they only have a marching band on the field and cheerleaders doing stunts before the game, which is a common intro in college football 25. Pitt shares Acrisure with the Steelers, so them having things unique to the stadium probably doesn't make much sense. One detail you will notice is on the Panthers helmets, a Panther sticker used to acknowledge positive accomplishments for the players. Boston College, Alumni Stadium. The most distinct act in the BC intro is the players rubbing the eagle statue, which is a replica of a larger BC eagle which is on campus and was allegedly donated to them from Japan. This smaller one was installed in 2006 to celebrate 50 years of football at Alumni Stadium. The players touch the eagle on the way out to the field for good luck, or they just like touching eagles. Additionally, the players come out of the tunnel and break through a tarp, a pretty standard tradition. Florida State, Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium. So in this one, the obvious focal point is the quote-unquote Native American riding a horse. This, of course, is Osceola and Renegade, which is actually an FSU student riding a spotted Appaloosa into the stadium and then stabbing the 50-yard line with a flaming spear. The tradition began in 1978 by a guy named Jim Kidder. Since then, 16 other student riders have donned the war paint and trotted on in. Interesting fact, once the torch is lit, it is to burn until sunrise the next morning. The face paint, the colors, and the spear itself are all researched and held to a high standard of accuracy to the Seminole tribe, which works with the university to ensure they are being represented properly. So any Karens who want to be offended on their behalf, fuck off. NC State, Carter Finley Stadium. So the signature piece of this entrance isn't that old, as the statue of a wolf named Fury was installed in 2008. This was put in at the request of then head coach Tom O'Brien because he wanted the players to touch something as they entered the field. Good thing Deshaun Watson didn't go to NC State.
Well, there it is.
The bronze wolf statue weighs 400 pounds and was made by NC State alumnus Dick Idle. Seriously, the guy's name is Dick Idle? Duke University Wallace Wade Stadium. A school about as empty in football tradition as a serviceman's bank account leaving a Camaro dealership, Duke University's only distinct ritual is the fact that they walk out of a brick tunnel, the same bricks that are seen around campus. Now before this, which isn't shown, they go through something a little more hype on the way to the field. Amazing what LED lights can do to a tunnel. But yeah, remember this place produced Daniel Jones and Christian Laettner. Louisville, L&N Federal Credit Union Stadium. Another simple entrance, the players touch a sign that says Cardinal Pride on the way out, which sounds like the name of a Catholic church scandal. Other than that, the stadium is relatively close to Churchill Downs, and they mention that in the intro. That's it. Virginia, Scott Stadium. A pretty boring intro. All they have is a steam tunnel set up, and they mention the historical dichotomy that is Thomas Jefferson. Clemson Memorial Stadium. Okay, this one is jam-packed with Easter eggs. First, we have a dude with a small cannon on a hand truck, and this started way back in 1954 by Clemson alumnus George Bennett. Boy, that is a tiny cannon. Actually, it's a cute size. It's a perfect size. Don't worry, it's just a shotgun filled with black powder. I guess it's on a hand truck because in college, you never know when you're gonna have to help your friend move, even during a football game. Now for the run down the hill. This was started in 1942, but by accident, the team inadvertently ran diagonally across the hill at Memorial Stadium to their sideline, and the crowd loved it, so the tradition stuck. And lastly, before the players run out, they touch Howard's Rock, named after legendary coach Frank Howard. The rock was given to him by a friend who found it in Death Valley, California, and it was placed on top of the hill in 1966 and has been there ever since. However, the rock coming from Death Valley is because Memorial Stadium was nicknamed that in 1948 after a win over Presbyterian. Damn. They were flexing on Presbyterian like that? Cal Berkeley, California Memorial Stadium. This one opens with Oski, the Cal mascot, which leads a cheer that goes, and I quote, Oski wow wow, whiskey wee wee. Haven't we all had whiskey wee wee before? They used to use real bear cubs as mascots, but then they just kept eating students and then growing up and taking all the women. Other than that, simple intro. Ironic, since two massive weirdos, Aaron Rodgers and Marshawn Lynch, both went to Cal. SMU, Gerald J. Ford Stadium. Okay, a couple things. When the fuck did SMU join the ACC, and will they ever stop bringing up that the school got the death penalty in 1987?
Hoping to restore the glory and get things started in this one.
Maybe that's why their intro is so boring. They must be so grateful just to have a football team. Miami, coming out of the tunnel at Hard Rock Stadium. Okay, so in the intro, they talk about the turnover chain, but don't show it. So here, I'll show it. Sadly, the chain was retired after 5 years in 2022 because Mario Cristobal just didn't like it. Apparently, he doesn't like winning games either. That's probably the first thing that's coming back after they fire him. I do like how the intro includes the U hand gesture, which became popularized in 1992, but its origin is actually disputed. A cheerleader for FSU claims he first did it in 1991, but another guy claims he threw it up as early as 1984. Seriously though, who gives a shit? Syracuse, the JMA Wireless Dome, better known as the Carrier Dome. One of the few intros that takes place in a dome stadium that is almost never this full, Syracuse starts off with one of the weirdest mascots in all of sports, Otto the Orange. Debuted in 1980, Otto is an actual orange, and you can look up what the team used to be called, so I don't want to get demonetized. North Carolina, Kenan Memorial Stadium. Not much in terms of visible Easter eggs in this one. They do ask if the good Lord isn't a Tar Heel, then why did he make the sky Carolina blue? Which doesn't make sense because if God was a Tar Heel, they'd probably finish better than 8-5. They do have the UNC mascot Ramses, which used to be an actual sheep, but one of them was unalived on a farm in 1996. Yo, this Wikipedia page is crazy. Stanford Stadium. One of my favorite memories of NCAA 14 was punching in a code and being able to play with the Stanford tree, one of the most bizarre mascots in all of sports. Bro, trees don't move or run or tackle people or dance. This is a dance? In the intro, they named John Elway, Andrew Luck, and Christian McCaffrey the whitest football trio ever. Wake Forest, Allegiance Federal Credit Union Stadium. Okay, this one is wild. They have the mascot lead them out of the tunnel on a freaking motorcycle. The Demon Deacon actually used to ride a unicycle out, but it's believed he started riding a motorcycle first at indoor basketball games to piss off Coach K, and then also in football games around the same time. It looks like the bike he rides varies, but mostly they look like custom choppers. And finally, Virginia Tech Lane Stadium. Unfortunately, it looks like they couldn't actually use Enter Sandman, the song in the game, probably because of licensing, but at night, this really is a sick intro. Crazy that they've been doing it for nearly 25 years now. The players also touch a rock above the tunnel exit dubbed the Hokey Stone, which is dolomite limestone that is used in many buildings throughout the campus and is mined in a nearby quarry. It must be really important to them because they put it on these weird ass helmets and even their uniforms. So now it makes sense to me. Well, there you have it, the ACC. Tell me in the comments below which conference I should do next. I'm 5 Points Vids and you made it to my next video.